Hello and good morning to all of you. I hope all of you are doing well and all of you are in good health. So, in today's class, we will be talking about multiple inheritance. Now, multiple inheritance, as we all know, is a type of inheritance that allows us to derive a class from more than one base classes. That is, a class inherits attributes and methods from more than one base class. That is, one subclass is inherited from more than one base classes. So here just see we have a very simple representation where we have three classes: class A, class B and class C. And class A is a derived class that is derived from two base classes, class B and class C. Now let us try to understand multiple inheritance with the help of an example. So here what we have is we have two base classes by the name base 1 and base 2. Now base 1 and base 2 has its data members and member functions. So base 1 has data members AB and member function getAB. Both the data member and the member functions are placed in the public section of the class. Likewise, in base 2, we have data members CD and member function get CD. Both the data member and the member function are placed in the public section of the class. So in both the base classes, base 1 and base 2, the data members and the member function are placed in the public section of the class. So now what I have is I have a class by the name derived that is derived from base 1 and base 2, and the mode of derivation is public. Yes, you see, this is the syntax for deriving a class from multiple base classes. So here I have a class derived, which is derived from the base class base 1 and base 2, and the mode of derivation is public. Now, in addition to whatever it has inherited from the base classes, that is base 1 and base 2, it has its own member function, that is display values. So what I have now done is I have defined the function getAB of base class 1, which will read the values of A and B, and getCD that will read the values of C and D. Now using the display function of the derived class, what I've done is I've displayed the values of A, B, C and D. So here what I've done, in the main function, I have declared an object of the derived class. Using the object of the derived class, I've made an access to getAB and getCD. And then eventually I'm displaying the values of A, B, C and D using its own member function, that is display values. So this is a very simple example that tries to exhibit the property of multiple inheritance. Now let us consider the second example. I've made modification to the same program wherein what I have done is I've placed the data members in the protected section and the member function in the public section. So here as well, I have two base classes, base 1 and base 2. In base class base 1, I place the data members AB in the protected section, and I place the member function getAB in the public section. Now likewise in the base class base 2, I place the member function data member, that is C and D, in the protected section, and member function get CD in the public section. So now what I have done is I have derived a class by the name derived from base 1 and base 2 with public as the mode of derivation. So as we all know, all the non-private members can be inherited by the derived class from the base class. So in addition to whatever it has inherited from the two base classes, it has its own data member, that is display value. So here again I have defined the function getAB of base class 1, which will read the value of A and B, and getCD of the base class 2, that will read the values of C and D. Now, using the function display value of the derived class, I'm displaying the values of A, B, C, and D. So what I have done is I have declared an object of the derived class, and using the object of the derived class, I've made an access to get AB and get CD, that is, which are the derived members of the base classes, and I have made a reference to its own member function, that is display value. So this will display the values of A, B, C and D. Now let us consider the third example wherein what I have done is I've placed the data members in the private section and the member function in the public section. So data members are placed in the private section of the class. So A, B, C, and D are placed in the private section of the base class 1 and base class 2 respectively, whereas the member functions are placed in the public section. So in base class 1, AB is placed in the private section of the class, whereas get AB is placed in the public section of the class. In base 2, CD is placed in the private section of the class and get CD is placed in the public section of the class. Now, I have derived a class by the name derived from base 1 and base 2 with public as the mode of derivation. So in addition to whatever it has inherited from the base class, it has its own member function, that is display value, which is placed in the public section of the class. So here I am defining the function get AB to read the values of A and B, get CD to read the values of C and D, which belongs to base 1 and base 2. Now using the display function of the derived class, I'm trying to display the values of A, B, C, and D. So here A, B, C, and D cannot be accessed because A, B, C, and D are placed in the private section of the class. So this is a very important concept that one needs to understand. So this particular program will result in an array saying that A, B, C, and D cannot be accessed. So in today's class, what we have learned about is we have learned about what is multiple inheritance. We have learned that we can derive a class from more than one base classes, and we have taken up examples where we have placed the data members and the member functions on the different section of the class. So in the first example, we have placed the data members and the member function in the public section of the class, and we have tried to display the values of the data members using the object of the derived class. Now in the second case, we have placed the data members in the protected section of the class, and then we have tried to access the data members using the object of the derived class. In the third case, we have placed the data members in the private section of the class, and we have seen what happens when we try to access the data members using the member function of the derived class. So in the next class, we will try to understand the various types of ambiguities that may be associated with multiple inheritance. So till then, thank you very much. Have a very good day.